Yeah, it was Stevie Ray and BC. I was after my dad died. Well, I mean, I'd always drank, and back in whenever I first started, drank and did everything. I was pretty much a garbage head. And then after my dad died, it was just really, really, it just came up and darkness swooped down on me, man. And then Stevie Ray and BC did what they call a 12-step call. They came over and through a dancer there in Dallas who had gotten sober and met Stevie at the Aquarius group, told him about me and asked if I'd talk to him about my drinking and stuff. So I said, yeah, sure. Stevie Ray, I said, he came over, and I talk about it in the book too. It was just some weird Abbott and Costello routine almost about what was going on. But he was very instrumental. He came over and, as they say, he shared his experience, strength, and hope, kind of told me what it was like, what had happened, what it was like now, and got me kind of said, here's what I did, and got me in, into recovery.
Had you been around him quite a lot before that?
Not a lot. He recorded over at Riverside Studios there in Austin, and I came in one morning after being up all night, and he'd been up mixing his record all night, and I think we shared a bump. So, and just kind of would run into each other a little bit like that. Gosh, there's a picture I really wish I had. We were at the Riverside Studios, and I don't want to do the name there, but there was another little deal there. There's a picture of me and Stevie Ray sitting there, and all of a sudden, Herschel came in. So I want to take a picture. So we put us over in this corner. He said, y'all stand over there. We're standing by these cardboard boxes. It says RS receipts. And then right next to it is a space heater. So he takes a picture of me and Stevie Ray sat next to this deal. And then I guess about a week later, there was a fire. But he had proof to show the IRS. I had all my receipts here, but then there was a fire. And I think that was the thinking. Well, I had my receipts, but there was a fire. They were in these boxes. Here's a picture.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, what a coincidence. There was going to be a space heater just right next to it. Now, that's what I kind of heard later was going on. But
well, did you see him playing in bars around town?
Oh, yeah. He used to play the Antones. And
it had to have been a force of nature.
It was, it was like this. Stevie Ray had the same, it's like with Freddie King, just mesmerizing. Even walking on stage, had him played a note, and you just couldn't take your eyes off, either one of them, Freddie or Stevie Ray. I mean, that's how sucked they were out of the room, both of them. There was just something about both those guys.
Did you get to meet Freddie King?
Oh, yeah. I got a picture upstairs of me and him playing poker. He used to Mother Blues. Bill Simon had this old club up there in Dallas called Mother Blues, and Freddie would play there. And then after it would shut down, they'd have poker games up front. So upstairs, it'd be Freddie and Bugs Henderson and Ned Zinger, and it's just all the cats, and you're playing poker. And Freddie played this game called Lucy Deucey, which is like 7-card stud, but if a 2 came up, face up, the next card would be wild. And then if another 2 came up, then that card wasn't wild anymore, but the next card was. It was actually called Freddie Wins, because because he kept having to explain the rules.
Did you play poker with Willie?
Well, we did a tour. We did this one tour when the record came out. We were playing up somewhere. It was Willie and Don Bowman and me and Pootie were all playing poker in some hotel room. And all of a sudden, there's this guy sitting on one of the bed there, just kind of sitting there. And all of a sudden, nobody really knew him or whatever. We couldn't figure out. So we played poker. So finally, that guy gets up and leave. And so I think Bowman says, "Anybody know who that was?" And somebody said, "Well, no, not really." He said, "Well, he's probably either a country disc jockey or a narc." And Willie goes, "Well, I hope he's a narc." I'd prefer that. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, that was so we played poker with Willie a long time ago. Yeah, we did that tour. The record is supposed to come out on Lone Star, and we did 38 cities in 42 days. We played Houston, and then the tour started in Fargo, North Dakota in February, up through Green Bay, up the East Coast. We played like ice skating rinks where they just put a tarp over the ice and chair. Oh, man, it was cold. And remember Don Bowman had this, that he would open the show, and his song was, "Send out the clown to check out the sound." Because, there was no sound check in those days. You just go out and do it. But I guess, in my 20s and 30s, I could kind of flub around with it, but I'd always just kind of wasn't even a real good flat picker, but I just would kind of strum it and everything. But then in my 40s, I got clean and sober when I was 41. And then I just kind of made this, I don't know, this idea that in order to be a real songwriter, I needed to play guitar better. That the songwriters that I liked, like the early Dylan albums, he was a great finger picker on it, and of course in town, and then but then Lightning stuff, I'd seen them play and all that, and so I said, well, I want to learn to do that. And so I think the thing that I've really learned too is as I've gotten older is learning new things, like learning finger picking, learning open tuning, learning slide. Got a mandolin, learned enough on that. Is by learning new things, that gives the song a door to come through that wasn't there before. If I hadn't learned open D tuning, if I hadn't learned finger picking, I wouldn't have got Dust of the Chase or The Messenger or even Snake Farm, you know what I mean? If I hadn't learned open D tuning, I wouldn't have got Ask God or whatever songs I've written, Train Yard Blues, or I wouldn't have gotten those. If I hadn't learned open G, I wouldn't have got, Polecat. So by learning new things, that gives a song a door. If I hadn't learned that to come through, it wasn't there before. So for me, it's really important. Now I got, we did the album with Course Seed and Bottle, I guess, Enlightenment. It was coming out that next Tuesday. We didn't have a video or anything like that. So anyhow, I just plugged my phone in, and all of a sudden hit iMovie, and all these images showed up. So I went, wow. So I just spent Thursday kind of messing with that. And then I called Lucas and Rick, and I said, come over to my house Saturday and wear black and a hat. And so we set Rick up in here, and I got 8mm app on my phone, had Judy shoot some stuff, and I got over there. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I just, would go on iMovie, and I'd hit something and go, rats, and hit escape and redo it. But then by Tuesday, had a video, Course Seed and Bottle. And it made sense to me that I'm an old cat that, they didn't even show videos anymore on TV, but people watch them on the phone and on computers. So you don't have to shoot them in 35mm or red cameras or 16mm because, like that. So anyhow, I had this video on, and I think it's probably got about 20,000 hits now. And so I did one for South of the River, which my South of the River disclaimer was, if you see anyone that's in this video, don't tell them they're in the video. Because I put Ringo and Joe Walsh, Chris Robinson. I figured they wouldn't sue me since I've, met them and everything, but they might. But I said, I just, put them in the video, set bands, and everything. And so, and then this last one had the chick singer Badass Rockin'. So this young girl, Carson Mahone, who we really needed somebody to sound like a drunk Keith Richards female. A female with like a drunk Keith Richards doing that harmony. And so we got her, and we went over to George's, and I just kind of filmed some stuff of her put together a little video, and we've had probably, 20,000 people see it. So it's just kind of a learning. Yeah, I agree with you. Learning new things is important.
Yeah, and the book's that also.
Yeah, the book was Tom Jurek. It says Ray Wylie Hubbard with Tom Jurek. And Tom was one kept poking me with a stick to do it, and I didn't really want to do it. And he said, yeah, so we would email back and forth, and he'd ask me these questions. Then he came down here and helped me kind of organize it. And said, why don't we do the story of your life, like real literature, where you with capitals and punctuation and all that, and then kind of these other road stories, just kind of my stream of conscious nothing, and then put some song lyrics in it. So he was really instrumental in, getting me to do it. Yeah, it was an interesting. I mean, we took the book in to get it printed here in Austin, and we took it in there, and all of a sudden we walked in, and they go, "Where's your table of contents?" And I go, "What?" And I went, "Oh man, I didn't know." So anyhow, I went back that night and wrote a table of contents. And I said, "I'll do a table of contents, but I'm not going to do an index." And they said, "Why not?" And I said, "Well, because any of my musician friends are going to pick it up, look at the index, and see what their name is, go to that page, read about them, and put the book back." They're just going to do an ego scan. So, man, I'm not going to, and that's true. That's what they do. So I said, I'm not going to do an index. That way they got to buy the book and read the whole book.
An ego scan.
Yeah, just go back here and see. I've done it in the past where you go in the index, see if I'm in there, and read that page. That's all that matters.
I really appreciate you having me over and sharing stories.
Oh, you bet. I enjoyed it. It's always a pleasure for me, too, man.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
A lot of the stuff I've said so close to the truth, I've come to believe it.